Hello guys, and welcome to another ProfileTree Wix YouTube tutorial. So today we'll be discussing what the best free e-commerce website builder is. So of course you have a couple of different options for your first or your website builder, and these could be ranging from Squarespace, WooCommerce, GoDaddy, Shopify, or Weebly. And of course these different builders have their advantages and disadvantages. Squarespace, where you're mainly, I pretty much think that creatives, that's what they'll use to sell their products. You'll also have people that will use WooCommerce that are familiar with WordPress. GoDaddy, which is a great platform as well for fast website development or creation. And you've also got Shopify, which is a good platform for an all-in-one store building, and of course you've got Weebly as well for small businesses. But I think the all-rounder for the best one would be Wix, as it's fairly easy to use and it's also best for individual sellers. So we'll go ahead and look through this PowerPoint here that I've set up, and it's mainly going to be discussing the pros, the cons, and a conclusion on how to build a site. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. So what's the benefits of Wix? We've got a couple of specifications here of it. So there's an e-commerce functionality, of course, so that's ticked yes. We've got a site booster and visitor analytics, and that's also ticked yes. And this site booster, it's mainly to do with the SEO, in other terms, search engine optimization, and that basically gets you a flow or a traffic flow of visitors coming to your website. They'll be able to spot your different links, and of course you also have your visitor analytics, and then that'll just review how many people are coming in to view your site. And of course it does have a free domain, and if you want to as well, if you have a domain for a different platform such as GoDaddy, Squarespace, or WooCommerce, of course you can use some of the domains for that and transfer it over to Wix. And yes, it also does have unlimited bandwidth. So now, moving on to why we should use Wix. So reasoning towards it is that you've got hundreds and hundreds of templates to pick from. So pretty much endless, depending on the subject or just whatever you're trying to build your site on. Be it a clothing website, it could be something to do with a car dealership, or it could be something to do with automotive parts, anything like that along those lines of individual selling points. Yes, you can pick a few different templates, and you can scroll through them and look through them. And I'll also show you that when we're building a site. Another reason to use Wix is that it supports at least over 180 languages, and that's fairly useful as well. It's also if you're looking to find a answer to your question on support for Wix, you'll be able to get some assistance and guidance on how to pass your issue. And of course you can use the languages as well for your website. I also think that the platform is very user-friendly. It's fairly easy to use, which you'll see in a minute. And it also offers a free version, which is a great way to test the service. So the reason why I said it offers a free version is mainly because you'll be able to build your website. You're also able to publish it. You'll get a link, but it won't be a live site without a domain. And if you pay, or if you don't pay, a monthly subscription. So of course there's always a catch to using platforms like this, and of course you'll have to pay something towards it, but it's as little as around £4 or about $6 or $7 US dollars. So it's of course dependent on you whether you want to publish a website or not. Of course, if you're ready to, if you went through the verification process and double checked over everything, then it'll be worth it to spend that money per month. So now we're going to be discussing the reasons not to use Wix. And my first reason there is you can't switch templates after building your website. So that just means that there's a couple of different options. You've got Editor X, you've got Editor and ADI, and the abbreviation for ADI is Artificial Design Intelligence. So there's those three options, and if you click onto the Editor X, you'll be unable to return to Editor or ADI, as Editor X is a more complex platform to use. So that's one of the reasons as well. And I've also stated there that only the most premium plans have e-commerce capabilities, and this is meaning that you got better bandwidth, or you've got better storage space or more video space that you could use. So of course it sort of cuts you down into your options, or especially if you have a budget for your website, which can be a pain. So that's one of the reasons as well. And if you're, my last point there is there's a wide range of options which tend to confuse beginners. And what I mean by that is, from the first bullet point that I've stated, you've got ADI, you've got Editor X, and you've got Editor. Which one do you use? So it's very confusing, especially for someone beginning off with Wix, and it can just get confusing to the point where you might have to use a different platform or search up a couple of tutorials. It should be somewhat straightforward. So now that we've finished discussing the pros and cons, I want to show you guys how to actually build a e-commerce website. So how do I create a site on Wix? So there's a few steps to this, and this is the most basic step that I can provide for you guys. So of course you'll need a header and a footer, and you've also got your sections in the middle, or sandwich in between. So first of all, you've got your header, which includes your logo, your menu, a login, or social media. And of course, if you have anything else to add, you can go ahead and fire away when working on the site. And for my sections, I've also got my heading, I've got a tagline and a background. I've also got paragraphs with an image or whatever you want to put there. That's just a blank canvas for you to apply whatever you want. And then you also have, or you would have, a promotional, gallery, about, and a contact form. And of course, these only apply to, as we're doing now, an e-commerce site. Now lastly, the footer would almost be, well, practically be the same as the header. The only difference is, of course, the layout and how you're going to display it for visitors. So you would have your links, you would have your menu, you'd have your social media, and of course you'll have a disclaimer. So now that we've discussed the intro on the free e-commerce website builder, we're going to go ahead and go through the sign up process of Wix. So we'll jump to that. Okay, so now we're at the sign up login page. So as you can see here, we've got a login. Of course, I've got my own account for Wix, but if you are new to signing up with Wix, you just click on the sign up area, and then that's where you put your email in and then your password, or you can log in using the Google or Facebook account. Now if I go into login, and I'll just sign up via just myself. So we'll go ahead and log in. So of course, for users that have their own account, you will be directed to this specific page, but for new users, this will be the page you'll see. So you could just skip all that on the second one that you just seen. So once you've signed up, it'll ask you what platform you want to use. So as you can see, it's a bit confusing as well on why there's two different types, because you would be thinking that Wix would only use the one, but they have their two, which is Wix and Editor X. So if you go ahead and click on one of the options, I'm going to go ahead and select Wix. We're going to want to avoid Editor X as it's not a beginner friendly or intermediate friendly platform to use. And I'll show you why in a minute. So we're going to go ahead and click on the Wix. So then it'll ask you what kind of website you're creating. So since we're creating an e-commerce website, we're going to go ahead and select the online store. Of course, you can search a couple of stuffs up. Just say if we have one for automotive parts, or like there's one there, which is the auto parts store. Okay, so you're able to go ahead and click on that. You could click for the used one or online, doesn't matter really. So I'm going to go ahead and create a auto parts store. So then I would call it something along the lines of let's see. So we'll do auto spares and we'll select next. Okay, and then the next page, it'll ask you what you want to add to your website. So this is all to do with the Wix marketplace, which I'll show you once we're into the website itself. We have an online store which is built in already, which is great. You can have a chat box if you want, but I'm going to choose to remove that. And there's other areas, other ones as well, which is bookings, events, blog, portfolio, all the way to bands in town. Now those are very, very useful, especially if you're creating a different website to an e-commerce site. Of course, you've also got your Instagram feed there, which you can connect to. So we can go ahead and choose to skip, but we're going to select next since we've deactivated one. Now it'll ask this question again, so this is another confusing part for beginners. Of course, your main intention as well is to click on the Wix editor straight off the bat, which is start now. But there are actually two other options there, which is more ways to create, and you've got Editor X and Wix ADI. So first of all, I want to show you guys the more ways to create first, but we're going to start off with the ADI, also known as the Artificial Design Intelligence. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this first. And we'll wait for this to load. So then you'll be given this screen here, which is to review and edit your info. And of course, that's when you can add your logo in. You can add email address, a phone, or some social media accounts. And these are general questions that will ask you so it can build upon your website. Especially if you have a logo, it will prove to be handy. But if you can't provide a logo, generally what it'll do is it'll just create the logo as your title instead. So it'll be Auto Spares NI. So I'm happy enough with this. I'm going to go ahead and click next. So then you've got 6 different options there. So the 6 different options I've got for the theme there is play, minimal, jet black, clean, elegant, and classic. Now it's not going to be the same for your side. You may have a different option. That's what I'm getting as an option. There are a couple of different ones from developing other websites. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on one. I'll just click on the minimal. You can choose to skip if you do want to, but I'm just going to go ahead and click next. So it'll prepare 3 different layout pages for, as it says there, homepage designs. So it'll create some personalized options. Now, as you can see, they're not too bad. They're actually fairly good for a beginner, as you can see. So it has everything that you need from home, about, a service page, and a contact page. And of course, you've got your hero section there, and it provides different sections as well with brands and then products we offer. So they've got like their own little shop there, as you can see. And then on this next one, which is a lot more cleaner look in my opinion, they've got the logo here on the top left. As you can see, provided as well, you can create your own logo. I'll show you guys how to do that as well. And then looks like they have the menu on the right side with their hero section with welcome to Autospares NI with learn more. So that's very modern sort of template as well. And they've got this which has the slider, which also looks really good in my opinion. So depending on you, you could choose 3 of the different designs here. You just click on it, you go ahead and click next, and that's you ready to go ahead and customize the website. But for this one, we're going to go ahead and avoid the Wix ADI, and I'm going to go ahead and show you the Editor X. Alright, so we're back on this page again, and we're going to now look at the Editor X from more ways to create. So we've discussed the Wix ADI, and now you've got a feel for that. So this one is design fluid sites with CSS grid, flexbox layouts, and custom breakpoints. Now, one of the reasons why I don't prefer to use Editor X is that it is sometimes a bit complex, and even for myself, I do find some parts a little bit of a struggle. But once you get the hang of it, you will be able to produce a really fluid design website. So this is a step above ADI and also a step above the editor itself. And from what we can see already with the templates that they've provided, they've got a list of different ones here, and they're very, very modern, as you can see. So they've got a list of different ones there that you choose from, and that's something that we would probably be close to picking, which is the product launch for the Autospares. Of course, you could change it out, and then we'll go ahead and look at the wireframes. So the wireframes is pretty much just a blank canvas for you to start upon, and you'll be able to go ahead and modify them. So I'll just show you guys a quick example. We'll go ahead and click view on one of them, just so you can get a fair idea on how the Editor X works. So here we are. As you can see, you've got your brand logo on the top left, you've got your menu on the right, and another area for either a login or some socials, but of course they have get started. And they've got their hero section here, and as you can see straight away, it's very, very fluid, modern feel to it. A lot of the use for the animation, as you can tell. So a lot of animation work gone into this to build this site, and you've also got a full footer. So hopefully that gives you a fair idea on Editor X. Now, I must say, compared to the ADI and Editor, that the premium plan pricing for Editor X is a lot steeper on the price. So compared to both of them, you're talking £4 to just connect the domain and to just get your site live with low bandwidth and just low storage. However, with the Editor X, it cost maybe around £16. So £4 jump to £16, that is a fair jump. So that's ×4 at least. Don't quote me on the prices though. We will discuss the pricing plans later on in the tutorial itself. But now that I've shown you the Editor X, just to quickly show you as well, you've got optimization for a tablet and optimization as well for a mobile device. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the one that we're going to build our site on, which is the editor. Okay, so now we're going to go and walk through the Wix editor, which we'll be doing our website on. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the start now. And let's have a look at what we got. Okay, so off the bat, it'll ask you to pick a website template, and we've got a few options there. As you can see, there's one there for an auto parts store, you've got a backpack store, sporting goods store, and it goes all the way down to car dealership. You have one there for an electronics store. So we'll have a look at one of them there, which is the very close one, which is the auto parts store. And of course, it's automatically searched it up for me there, as you can see, auto parts store in the top right. I'm going to go ahead and have a look at this one, just see what you guys think. So as you can see, they've got their categories there. They've got the hero section, which is really nice. A search as well. There you go. Parts, wholesale, reviews, premium area. There you go. So we're going to go ahead and try to build a site somewhat similar. So yes, we'll go ahead and do that. But before we can, we're going to go ahead and choose a blank template. And I'm going to go ahead and I will start from scratch. So I'll go ahead and click edit on this. So there's a couple of ones there that you could choose from. As you can see, there's different types of blank website templates, and you can scroll through all the different templates as you if you want to. As I said, there's hundreds and hundreds of these templates that you could choose from, which is very great, especially if you want a quick website. So we'll be building this from scratch. We'll wait for that one to load. Okay, so now that we have got the blank canvas up here, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to be explaining some of the parts that we need to look at first before designing a website. So for this build, I'll take you through it step by step, and I'm going to also replicate the other site that we've seen earlier on. So that's one of the templates, of course, and I'm going to show you guys how easy it is to build this site. So here we are. As I said, there's the blank canvas. Let me just get my mouse in there. Okay, so we've got our blank canvas, and these are the tools that you'll be needing. You've got tools up here: toolbar, layers, rulers, guidelines, snap to objects. I'll show you those all during the actual build of the site. And what we also want to know as well is the side panel that we have here as well. You guys can see that. It's just on the left side there where we've got our add elements, add section, and pages and menu. And as you can see, I was talking about earlier on with the marketplace. And let's see here. So I'm gonna also demonstrate the toolbar. So what I like to do first before creating a website is I want to figure out which section I'm going to hit first. So of course we've got our header, we've got our section, and we've also got our footer. I always like to work with the section first because that sort of gives me my guideline on where I want to place things. So before I start, I like to rename the sections. So we're going to name that to a hero section. Okay. And this is where the toolbar comes in very handy. So if we go ahead and click on that, as you can see, we've got the section highlighted, and it is at a height of 500, and its width is already set to 980 px. So if we change this, so say if we have it at 650, as you can see that changes straight away to 650. And now what I also want to do is I want to add a strip. So if we look at the other side here, we've got a video for the background, as you can see, and that's the sort of what we want to create for this site as well. We want to make sure that we have a video background. So if we click on to this section here, you'll see that you'll get an option there to change section background. What you can also do is just to make the site more responsive as well, I always like to add a strip. You can add whatever one you want there, black or white preferably for the classic ones, and I will adjust that to the 650 height. And on this one I can also change the strip background to a video. So if I go ahead and click on that, it should bring up this dashboard. Yep. And now there's free videos and paid for videos, which are the Shutterstock ones. So if you have the money, go on ahead. If you have your own content, you can upload it here in the media. But if you want to stick to free, I would recommend just using the default videos that we use for media for Wix. So clicking on this, I'm going to go ahead and search for automotive. Maybe able to find something. So as you can see, that's the exact same video that they're using on theirs. I'm going to go ahead and click on that and change the background. And if I preview this, you'll see it straight away. That should automatically play. So like so, that's playing, and that'll be almost the same as this. Now if you wanted to create a background like that one, as you've seen, there are ways to do it. You go to the site design and you can change and customize the entire page background if you wanted to. So if we go to media from Wix again, automotive, I search that up, as you'll see it within here as well. So then you can preview that, of course, and just like so, that will show for the background. What I want to do is I'll remove this. I'll change that strip background to let's see, we'll just, so then if we preview this, we'll see that that video is now working. And then what you would tend to do is you would add elements onto this. So how have they made it there? So they got free shipping on orders available. The actual logo itself is below, and they've got a tagline there, or a horizontal line there with a search bar, login, and a market. So we'll just look at the rest of the site. Okay, so we'll go ahead and build the header here. So if I look back as well as to what they've done, it looks like they've got two different sections here, or two strips, and they have their line in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and try to replicate that. So they would have a toolbar. Let's see, we'll measure up the height of that. We're going to double it for the meantime. And I want to add two strips onto it. So I'm going to add a strip here. And I want to bring this down to 100. Okay, and then just drag that up. And if I have a look at here, okay. And then they had another strip as well. So one below it, around that height. And gotta make sure we've measured it right. Bring that up a wee bit more. Okay, so that's flush. And then that is at 200. Okay, so we got two parts here, 100 each, and then 200. And we want to start adding the logo there, as you can see. Always make sure that you save the work as well. The work does automatically save, so that's the domain name at the minute. Okay, so we're gonna start designing this a little bit. So what I want to do is get a horizontal line. So I'll find that in the decorative section here and follow for the horizontal line. I'll pick one out, and I want to wedge it in between these two. Okay, then expand that out. Okay, and then just try to find the center. There we go. And also what I want to do to the strip background is I want to make sure that I change these so that they have no color, like so, and then do the same with this one, change the strip background so that it has no color. Okay, and then go back to the line here. See if you are unable to get the line. Another tool here is that you want to click on the layers, and you should be able to go ahead and click on the line. Okay, like so. And what we want to do to that line is that we want to change the design of it, customize that so that it is color white. There we go, and then we can head back. There we go. So if we preview this, we've got our white line and we've got our two strips underneath, which you just can't see at the minute. Okay, so we may have went a little bit too thick on the line as well, so that's an easy fix. We'll just go back to layers, go to the strip and to the line. Okay, and I'm gonna change that design again, customize the design and have it maybe at a 1px. Okay, 1px should about do it. We'll have a preview. There we go. Okay, so now I'll go ahead and get the rest of the stuffs in. Okay, so just worked a little bit of the header there, so I'm now done. Now I'm going to go ahead and move on to the actual hero section itself. So as we've stated, we're going to rename this to hero section. Okay. And instead of adding the actual strip in, I'm just going to leave it with the background here. So I want to sort of adjust it a bit, put it maybe at around 650. Okay, and then I'm gonna add the text in. I'll just go ahead and copy text off here and just apply it onto there. And I want to make sure, what I'll actually do is I will add the strip, but instead of doing that, I'm just gonna make sure I have it transparent. So just have it like this. Go to tools, go to toolbar, change the height to 650. Okay, and we want to run that stretch for the complete screen. That's good. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and make sure that the layout is within to the left side. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and change the strip background to transparent. And then now we can apply our text, which we shall do so. And then I'm just going to make sure that you can see that. Okay, so I've just went ahead and fitted in the rest of the content that needed to be placed in there. So now if we look back to the actual site, which I'll grab here now. So we've got our header. We just need to slot in our search bar, login, and our basket, which of course we'll do that later on. And now what we need to do is add the last bit of details here, and then we're going to add in our shop. We'll do some of the rest of the site here, as you could see, and we'll put in some of the other car parts that they're selling, and another area of the section that's join our premium club. So that's to do with subscriptions, and then a couple of more blogs which we will put in, and then some brands, and of course our footer. So we'll go ahead and get started on doing the rest of this. So 1 second, I'll get that all in. Another thing as well is that if you are creating a logo, which I had forgotten to mention, the best way to do it is to either create one using the decorative items here, and then you would just click on one of the basic shapes. You could change that shape if you wanted to, and you could look for something to do with vector art. You would tend to have more luck with that. So here we are. If I go into vector art, and then if I just search up logo, or anything to do with the car automotive industry. Of course, there's a list of different options there, as you can see. So there's a few to choose from. Even if I search up the automotive car, or even automotive, let's see what we'll search up from here. As you can see, there's a bunch of different cars there as well. So it's like, you know, just work your way through building the logo. Of course, you can also use a app or the platform for Wix, which is called the Wix Logo Maker. And I'll show you guys that now. This is brilliant as well. It's a great way for you to create your own logos. But of course, there is always a catch where you would have to pay, but it's a one-time payment for the logo. And from here as well, you could go ahead and you can pretty much just get a couple of business areas as well for it. So if I show you now, you can get like a business card. I'm pretty sure you can get some tote bags and stuff as well. It's depending on what way you're promoting the business. So here we go. It's asking us what logo, who wants to sort of create that logo, myself or a professional designer. Of course, we're going to go for ourselves. And then you would add the name, so Auto Spares NI, and then you can add a tagline if you want to. So we'll go ahead. So what's your logo for? Automotive industry. Let's see. car parts. There you go. So car parts, and then we would want it to be, let's say, modern, fresh, formal maybe, and dynamic. And then it'll give you a bunch of different options on what you may want to choose. And you have the option as well to click not either of them. So I only chose 2 options there by the looks of things. So we'll wait for this to grab us a logo. Okay, so as you can see, a couple of different options there from Autospares NI. That one there as well. So they're all fairly decent from what you can see. That one's actually a good one. The Autospares NI one in the yellow. And that one as well. So even just the to have a text font as your logo is also fairly good. So this one's pretty good as well, as you can see. And that one, those are the 2 I like. And of course you have the option to create your logo on a different platform such as Photoshop if you wanted to. So working our way back, that's that covered. I'm going to go ahead and complete the rest of the hero section. Okay, so we're back again, and now what we're going to do is we're going to be looking at this section here, which is the shop by category. So I'm going to go ahead and build it up. It looks like they've used a gallery, so I'm going to try to see if I can mimic that look. Let's see, we'll go ahead and search up gallery. I've just gone ahead and made a start on it as well. So here's one. Slider product gallery, so that would be essential hopefully for what we're needing. So we're going to go ahead and get started for that because we need to add it in. We'll be sure to do that first. So here's the Wix stores, we need to add that in, so we'll go ahead and do so. So it'll probably give us a new page, just depending on. Let's see. It does take a little, it takes a minute or two to process. Let's see, I'm gonna have a look to see if it's up here now. So slider product gallery, grid product gallery, I'm gonna try that again. Okay, we'll just open it now. And what I'm gonna do is I'll go to gallery here. Pro galleries, let's see. Sorry folks, just had to continue there. So I had a little bit of an issue with adding the Wix Pro gallery, but hopefully you can understand where I'm coming from here. So it's easily modified. You're able to go through to the settings, and once this loads here, I should be able to show you. So you'll be able to go through the layout, and of course I've got it for the grid if you want to copy this sort of step. And I would have it at a 3:4 ratio with 4 images per row and with the spacing at 40. And I also have my settings. If I could just double check where it's at. If I go check it out here. So if we check out the overlay as well. So if we look over here on how it sort of darkens up. We've done that by putting a full overlay with these settings for the color and opacity with the gradient direction at 180 degrees, and we've also done the overlay effect for the expand. And if we actually go back as well, how we're able to get the close-up is through the item style, and so we've got the style boxed in with the text on the bottom. As you can see, I'm able to change that a bit as well when I go back to text, and with the hover effect we've got in for zoom. Of course, you can't change this so it blurs out, or you've got darken, but preferably zoom in looks a lot more stylish. And then if we go back, and then if we go to text, as you can see, that's where you can align your text. So this one would be on image, but I'm actually unable to see it there. So you can have it on the left side, right side, or underneath, like we have done so there. So that's just a simple way of doing the Wix Pro Gallery. So it's straightforward. And if we go ahead and preview it, it's got that sort of look to it. And of course you can add links to these if you want to. So if we go back to editor, and we'll just get a link done for them. So you just go to manage media, and if you go to the actual picture itself, you're able to change the title. That's how I was able to change the alloys, because this will say I am an image. You can add a link, as you can see. So you could choose to link that to a page, and we can list it for parts, and we can click done. So when we go ahead and preview it, when we click on that image, that'll direct us to the shop, as you can see, which is not finished. So that's how you could do something of similar. So we'll go ahead and complete the rest of the front page site, and I'll go ahead and continue and look onto the actual thing that we're here for, which is the e-commerce. Okay, so I've now completed the rest of the other parts for the site, like so. So it's just very simple. It's just all to do with a lot of design. As you can see for this section, this is mainly just a strip background, and it's just a change in gradient. And you would mainly do that with a bit of color as well. So it's just mainly the linear design. So I just had that at 135. Of course, you can change this a bit, as you can see. And you can have it within different colors. So you can revert and delete, or you can flip the order, as you can see. So there's a couple of gradient colors that you could choose from here as well, if you wish to pick from them. But I've left it at that. And of course, there's a couple of different ones here. And as you can see, we've got our shop. And of course, this is the most important part for an e-commerce site. So how you would go about this is you would need to go ahead and pick the shop one, or from the Wix App Store. And from there you can go ahead and place your products. And I'll quickly show you guys how to do that. And it's very easy to add your products in. Of course, this will require you to pay for the e-commerce plan if you do go with the e-commerce, of course, and I'll show you guys the subscriptions later on. And you would have to use, if you're using a payment method, of course you'll have to go to a premium plan. So it's easy enough to add products. Of course, you click on a product there, and you just state whether it'll be a digital file or a physical product. So you click on one, and we'll just think of one maybe to add. So you can give some basic information about it as well. So you could just state that it'll be tires, and then we could just say 225, 40, 18s, or so something like that. And of course, you could say So something like that, and then you would have like new arrival. Like we could just say it's a new arrival, and then you can add additional information, and of course you would add some pricing. So just say it is 104 per tire, and then show price per unit. You could do that if you want to. Add a custom text field. You can track your inventory if you want as well. So just say you had like 90, or you can choose not to track that, just have it as a status in stock. You could do pre-orders as well. So something like that. And of course you could create subscriptions. And then you would add some images, of course, and let's just say we go to Wix, and then we'll just search up tires. Let's see. See if we could try to find a stock image just for an example. Give me a second, folks, till I upload a image. Okay, so I was able to download one online, so something like this. And once you've got that all sorted, you can of course create some categories. So of course this will be within wheels and rims, and you can create categories if you wanted to. So let's just say tires, and we can have it listed for tires, and we can, once you're happy enough with all this, of course you can go ahead and click save on the top right there. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and click on save, and if you're happy enough, just double check it over again there, and you can start by, you can add the brand name as well, so something like this, and then you can edit the SEO settings, which is very crucial as well for visitors. You can promote the product as well, so let's have a look. So we would need to save it, so we'll go ahead and save that. So if we are pre-ordering, so of course you would, if you need to pre-order items, you would need to add it onto here. So just say, we'll do an example. Let's just say next stock will be April 2nd, and then we'll click on save. So as you can see, you would need to connect a payment method. So that'll list up to there, as you could see. So, but once that's there, as you could see, you're able to promote the product, or you can hide it from the online store. So that's the great thing about this, especially if you're working backend. If you don't want anyone to see a product, you can go ahead and hide it. Especially if you don't have it available, or you don't want to stock it anymore. And then say you wanted to restock it, you could do so, or you could provide a pre-order. So as you can see, these tires are in stock at the minute, and you can add a SKU. So that's just mainly, you know, just the code for what you want to add for your item, just to keep a track of it, something like that. And let's see, so if we exit out of this, we should be able to see the tire. So the way to do this as well is, if you wanted to only specify one item, or of that particular area, what you could do, so as you can see, I've got it listed here in categories. I can have all products, accessories, engine, tires, which is the new one. So if we go ahead and click on tires, we should only have one product. So as you can see, we've got one product there, which is the Michelin Pilot Sport 4s, which is under tires, and it's for 104. And this will automatically also give us a page. So if we click on this, this should automatically give us a pre-built page. as you could see. So, and it also even gives us a brief description. So that's the description that I put down: 225 40 18s, Michelin Pilot Sport 4s. And I've also stated that different sizes are available. Please contact us. And you can even add some quantity as well. And if we add this to cart, so that's one thing we need to do here, which is create a cart and search system. So it'll also tell us it'll be 624. So the way to add a search as well. So now that we've covered the products, so let's see, we'll just go back to the home page. Okay, click on this. And we'll scroll down. And I'll just make sure I replace this so that it is showing all the images. So what I do recommend as well, if you are starting off with an e-commerce site, it will be easier to just have one of the current templates up. And I would just remodel it completely, especially since you have all the different areas that you would need for an e-commerce website, especially if you're saving time or you're saving money for expenses to create a site. This would be perfect to just pick a template. But of course, if you want to build it from scratch, you can do this sort of method. So yes, so what we'll now do is add a search bar. So that's pretty much easy. You just go to add apps. So this is the Wix app market, and it's just about searching one here. So you can have a Wix site search, and as you can see, I've got one already installed, so I can go ahead and click open. And this should give us one here. If I go to the element section and I search for a search bar, so site search, I can click on that, and I can go ahead and press on one of them. And I can drag and drop, like so. And I can manage the search results as well. So this should be linked straight away to the products, hopefully. So we can manage the settings and the display here, so I can change that around. So I can customize the search bar if I wanted to as well, as you can see there. Okay. And as you can see, there's current products on there. So if we just go and have a look and preview these. So some of the products are pre-added. But what you want to do in order to get the one that you wanted in, and this is where it gets a little bit complicated now. So with the, let's just see, with the some of these pages here, it should work actually straight away if we just click on the search. Let's just see, let's go ahead and check out the settings. We'll just modify it so it doesn't look too janky. If I go ahead and preview this, and if I search for tires, I should be able to find tires. So it should give me a list, or a brief list, hopefully. There we go. So that'll just come up for the products. And then of course you can search all tires, and you'll be able to click on them. My one is just a little bit laggy. So I'll go ahead and modify this just to make it look nicer. And I'll be with you in a minute there. Okay, so I've just made that so it's matching a little bit. So if we search up tires, See what it'll give us. See if this comes up. Okay. And headlights. Should hopefully come up. Or headlight, maybe. Let's see, we'll search for an item here of door handle. Just make sure this is working. And this should come up. Okay, so it's given off the right area now. So I've got the wholesale here. So then I'll be able to search that with the search bar. And of course you can add a login bar, and of course I've got a cart here, and then that's easy enough to add into. You would just go into here, go to search, and then you would just search up for a cart. And you can add a shopping cart, as you can see. And you can add a couple of the different ones there. So hopefully that cuts down on how to create more of the website build. It is fairly easy enough to do. If you just put the effort into creating the site, you can get something really cool out of it. So it's just how you would go about creating the site. It's up to yourselves. Now the most important part is looking through the SEO. So we'll go ahead and do that. So if you want to go and check it out, you would have to click onto the site, and we'll click on my dashboard. So this will give us a completely different screen. And of course, the other important parts of building a site, just so you know, is you would want to make sure you create an about us. Of course, you would want to have a contact us as well if you want to. And as I've listed there, you've also, if for an e-commerce site, you would list the terms and conditions, privacy policy, shipping policy, refund policy, and cookie policy. These are, of course, very, very important if you're trying to run an online store, and you would want to have maybe an FAQ as stated there, and you would maybe want to have some reviews just to give your website or your company a great look for any visitors, so they can trust your company. So of course, once you've opened this up, it'll ask you a few questions where you would want to set up some payment methods, and we'll go ahead and check out the payment methods that they have. As you could see on the top there, I've got in orange, you haven't connected a payment method, customers won't be able to pay you. And this is where we can confirm where our business is, which is in the UK. And we're able to connect 3 different types of payments, which is Visa, of course, there's American Express, MasterCard, Apple Pay, and Union Pay by the looks of it. And of course you can connect a PayPal if you wanted to as well. And you can do a manual payment, but of course if you're trying to be a professional business, preferably you want to steer away from a cash, check, or other form of custom payments. But that is primarily up to yourselves. I'll leave that with you guys on how you want to do the payment plan. It's fairly easy. You just go ahead and click connect, and of course, as long as you aren't selling these, or they can provide the right provider as it says within the restricted items. And so of course, if you don't sell them, then you would just state that no, I do not, and you would go ahead and click continue. So we'll wait for that to load. And there you go. Now it'll say that Wix payments connected. It's time to upgrade your site. So as stated, it is going to ask you for premium plans. and you'll have a 14-day money-back guarantee. But we'll go look at that later on. If you want to as well, you can connect a PayPal account, so you're able to connect 2 parts for payments. So that part is now complete. So if we go back to here, so we've set up our payment methods. Now you'd want to set up some shipping and delivery, and then you would state where you'd want to deliver it. So for our domestic region, we've got United Kingdom, along with 4 other parts of the area. So those 4 parts would mainly be our regions there, which is England, Northern Ireland, Scotland, and Wales, of course, which makes up the 4 for UK. And we've stated that it's free shipping, or you can produce it by weight or a flat rate. And if you did say you have a flat rate, you would state that it's, say, £20 per shipping, and that it will be standard shipping, or it could be like Royal Mail second class, or UPS, or Hermes, or Every, something like that. And you can add some shipping plans or another shipping option. So if you guys work with eBay or Amazon, it works the same way. If you're a seller and you're doing something like this, almost gives you an insight. So this would probably be handy for yourselves. So you can have a couple of different options, where this one would be a free shipping option. So, and then you could state that this one has 1 day of delivery time, and this would have an estimation of 3 to 5 business days. So something like that, where you would give them an option, and of course you would say offer free shipping when a customer buys £70 worth of goods. So something like that. And then you can also offer a local delivery, which is stated there. So you can add that if you want to, and that could be within a radius or zip postal code, as you can see, or you can add pickup. So it's just primarily up to you and how you want to go ahead and do that. Okay, so we'll just do this international, or let's just say first class shipping. Okay, and then we'll just, once you're happy enough, you just go ahead and click save, and that'll be our shipping and delivery done. And of course, once you click on publish site, this will now be listed as my site 20. So just be very, very careful when you're publishing the site, as others will be able to see this. And then now moving on, before we go to the pricing, just so I can show you mainly want to focus on the SEO part of the website. And of course, this is when you could see as you can see, how you're doing on Google. So you can connect that with them. And let's see, we would want to go to SEO. And if you're wanting to do your checkup list, or the setup list checklist, of course you would want to set that up, and it'll ask you questions that you need to go through. So what's your business name? So it's auto parts, auto spares, and then where do you serve customers? So physical and that, and we could just say Belfast. Okay, so something like this, and then keywords. So this is where you would put your keywords. So auto spares, NI, spares, NI, parts, NI parts. So as long as you're meeting the keywords around there, that's when you're gonna start getting some checklists. So the more boxes you tick, the better your SEO gets. So this is helping your site to be found online. So of course, the more you complete these tasks, the more, as I said, you'll be found. So then it'll be stating the fact that, so here we have our homepage, and it'll ask you where, if you want to set the homepage title. So you could do like Autospares NI United Kingdom or Autospares NI Northern Ireland. You can provide that, so that'll be a Google preview. People will be able to see that, so that just gives you an insight of how it will look. And there you go. Now you get a checklist. So hopefully you get the idea of this. And then you would add a description on keywords, business or site name, and update text. So that's just a quick brief on that, and that'll apply for all the other pages. So of course 23 pages. You would just go through that, see all the different tasks, because I've got home, premium area, reviews, shop parts, wholesale. So there's a couple of different parts that I need to go through for the pages in order to meet the demands of the SEO. So now moving on. So if you are happy enough to just continue on and do that, use fire away. We would want to now look at the rest of the things that we need to complete for the store, which is important, which is so we've done that part. We would want to connect our domain. Of course, we can't skip the publish part because we don't want to publish this site here. So this part is the most important part, which you would be doing the connect domain. So let's see, autospares ni.co.uk. So luckily that's available. You might not have the same luck as I did, because some will be taken. Let's just try .com, see if I can try to demonstrate that. Okay, so that's available. Let's just say if I remove the NI part. So there you go. I would say it's taken. So luckily I can remove that and I say autospares.co.uk. And so if that's available, you would want to go ahead and get it. You'll get this screen saying upgrade and get autospares.ni.co.uk for free. You'll get a 1-year free domain voucher, or you can go ahead and buy it now. So I'll just go ahead and click on domain purchase. And as you can see here, we'll just change screen here. Let's make sure that you guys can see this. See if it comes up now. So for 1 year, it's £10.39 a year, or for 2 years, it's £9.70. 3 years is £9. So it's not overly expensive. It's pretty much like a subscription, almost like insurance, to have the domain. So you can have that for 2 years, and it'll be $19.39. Of course, if you want to maintain it, you have to keep paying for it, so no one takes it. So moving on, now this would be the payment plan for the business. Of course, currently at the minute they do have a limited promotion, which is 50% off on selected premium plans, and we aren't able to do the normal plan, which is the most basic, as you could see, connect domain, which is £4. Reason being is because we are running a e-commerce and business plan, so we'll be unable to do this. So you would want to click on the business and e-commerce plans, and of course there they've got a business basic, business unlimited, and business VIP. So you could just choose between the three there, and it goes through all the different ones there here. So free for a year, remove Wix ads, you've got bandwidth, video hours, and a couple of different stuffs there. And of course, once you select one, you can go ahead and choose the billing cycle for business unlimited plans. Of course, it works the same way as the other one there. So it would be like 3 years for $7.50 for 36 months, or a yearly, which would be 10, so that'll be 12 months, of course 120. So your first one there, that would be around 36 months, so £270. So pretty much trying to get a bargain for what you're getting per year. So that sort of explains the subscription part. So yeah, that about covers the area on the best or on how you would create a e-commerce site for your website. So if you guys have any questions at all, just leave them down in the comment section below. And hopefully this tutorial has helped you just to guide you for your very first steps on how you create these sort of sites on Wix. And yes, as I said, leave some comments down below, and I'll see you for the next one. Thank you very much.